Whatever stage you're at with your trading, it's important to stop and gain perspective before planning your next move. Take a break from the charts and join in the discussion with our hosts, Jason Graystone and Akil Stokes, as they share insights, opinions and expertise on all things trading. Grab a coffee, pull up a chair and join the Trader Coffee Break.
Well. Welcome to another Trader Coffee Break. I'm Jason Graystone.
I'm Akil Stokes.
And if you're here, thanks for joining us. This has become quite a popular hangout for traders who need to vent, get stuff off their chest, and learn as well, because every conversation about trading is a educational conversation, nonetheless. Chris is here. Hello, Chris. This week, we're going to be talking about probably what I would say is one of the most requested topics and the most, I guess, enjoyed conversation when we do talk about this kind of stuff, is emotions and managing emotions in trading. Man, what do you say? What are your thoughts, Akil, about this one?
It's I was thinking about it when you said enjoyed. Enjoyed by those who are willing to accept that it's a necessary thing. And I can't tell you how many traders. It's gotten less and less over the years. And I think, you, myself, and a handful of other good educators and just coaches and traders out there have been slowly changing we made a paradigm shift as far as kind of what trading is, but there are still a lot of these old school thinkers out there where it's like, man, Jason, all I need is a good system. Why would I have to manage emotions? I don't deal with emotions. I just trade the system, and it's easier said than done. So it is very important. I like to categorize successful trading into, if we had to simplify it and put it down into two main categories, is one, you need a system or strategy with an edge, right? So something that gives you an edge over the market, which means if you consistently exploit it, you can make profit. Two, you, the trader, has to have the ability to actually exploit and extract that edge. And I think that's where the kind of disconnect comes, where yes, you can have the best strategy in the world, but if you can't actually put yourself in position to take advantage of it, you're going to be left for dead as a trader. And we see that happen to so many traders out there.
Your emotions are part of your edge, right? If you can't manage it, then you've lost the whole, probably 80% of your edge as a trader, because you can have the most profitable system in the world, but at the end of the day, if you're volatile in your emotional swings, then what chance have you got of putting anything together? It's like trying to play a board game when you've got something playing on your mind and you're not fully present. You're not going to be the best at the board game, and the same goes for any game that you play, and trading's no joke.
It's the most dangerous of games, I'd say.
It really is. But I've also seen a lot of professional traders out there. I say a lot, probably a handful of veteran traders who do just believe, they go, you know what? You just have to get in the mud and just deal with it. And they're not really focused on things you can do to help with your emotions. They're just like, well, I can do it, so you should be able to do it. When in reality, not everyone's like that. In fact, very few people are able to just get on with it and just muddle through and go through loss after loss after loss. It does take its toll. No matter where you're at in your trading, there's a level at which you hit, and then that will start to affect you. And that is an ever-long process, like we always say. So,
I think it's a lot of personality-wise as well, where it's like, so, both of us learned under Jason Stapleton, who is, ex-military, and I think we rubbed off a lot on him, but he's ex-military, and for anyone that's been in the military or served, it's a completely different ball game. You're put in boot camp and you are broken down, where every bit of your human element is basically destroyed, right? You don't have a personality. You don't make decisions. You're basically gutted until you're a robot. So for someone that has been through that for so many years, you see similar things in professional athletes as well, not to the same extent, but athletes are dealing with the same thing. But for someone that has come up under that type of situation, it's a lot easier for him to say, like, emotions, like, what are emotions? Like, just do it. When the system says take the trade, you take the trade. Like, why would I ever think about doing it? But not everyone is built like that, right? For the rest of us, right? I remember having a good conversation with Denise Scholl, where she really kind of schooled me on this, where she made me realize that as traders, it's not our job necessarily to eliminate emotions. And even I'm a victim of saying this, like, we have to eliminate our emotions, because as human beings, that's what makes us human, is having emotions, the ability to love, the ability to feel pain, to feel fear. Like, that is part of our human element. And it's hard just to take that away. It would probably have negative effects on the outside life as well.
Yeah.
But rather, we have to have the ability to disconnect. We have to have the ability to say, I'm having this emotional feeling. I need to separate myself before it turns into action. I remember you telling us a great story. You can recap it for us. I think it was your best trading day ever. Yeah. And you felt yourself about to do something bad.
I did, yeah. Yeah, and I had to see it from that outside view. I always talk about things as if I'm doing an emotion. So I'm doing a depression at the moment. You know, see it as something that is something you can control, something that's external, and you can look down on and see it for what it is. And if you can do that in trading, that's half the battle. So why is it such an emotional game? Well, you know, at the end of the day, money is so intricately tied to our emotions because of how we've evolved and used money to live. Like that, it has such an emotional pull. And I always say, if you don't think money is important, try and borrow some. And, you know, you try and borrow some from your friends. Do you know someone who owes you money? Do you know someone who's owed you money for a long time? Or do you owe money to someone and now you feel like you don't really want to see them too much in case they ask for it and all that kind of stuff? You know, money has an emotional pull. So because we're so used to using money to pay, to live, to eat, for heating, for shelter, for food, for water, it directly controls our emotions. So why is it so an emotional game? Because we are playing with the very thing that keeps us alive, and that's it. So you have to get a real solid plan together that allows you to go, right, not only am I going to manage it sensibly so that this doesn't affect my mind, but when I'm in the trades and I'm taking loss after loss after loss, I need to be able to focus on the long-term game and the long-term yield from what my expectations are from this trading system. And that's where you detach it. It's like, it's trading for what it is. It's a system that I need to then keep trading. And another way we always explain it is, in business, you sell an iPhone and you know how much it costs to make the iPhone, and it's a unit by unit profit, right? You know the overheads, you know the profit. Whereas in trading, you might have 10 winners in a row and then 10 losers in a row and then 5 winners, 7 losers, 20 winners, etc., etc., etc. So it's like you're not even guaranteed profit on every trade, it's over time. So aside from all that, I guess, what are some of the things that you can do to help with managing your emotions? And I asked this question to the live room last week, and we had some great answers. So what I'd love to do, Akil, is throw up some of these, and maybe you can chirp in, or we'll chirp in on, you know, why that's relevant, how it helps.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Cool. So the first one that came up by Rain is backtesting, right?
Yeah. I think backtesting it's so important for so many reasons. We've spoken about it, right? Broken tape in some form, every coffee break episode here. But it's so powerful, and it's not just powerful for like numbers, your strategy, see if your edge works, right? We want to see if what we're doing works ultimately. Yes, that's the goal. But we know that as traders, we get better as we have more experience. As we gain more experience, we have more confidence. Like you and me, we're in a completely different place confidence-wise in our strategy and having that long-term outlook than we were on year one. Like year one, we're like, is it really gonna, I just took like 5 trades in a row. Are you sure? Like, should I, right? Now we've seen it so many times that we can go on losing streaks. Like, I'll be good. End of the year, I'll be good. Like, cause it happens every year. But as a newer trader, you don't have that. You don't have that belief, right? And we believe in kind of a cycle called the belief actions result cycle, where the more belief you have, the more you're likely to take the right actions. The more you take the right actions, the more you get the right results. You get the right results, like, that worked. And you believe it even more, and it gets bigger and bigger. But as a newer trader, you don't have any belief because you've never done it.
No.
Right? How can you believe if you've never actually done it? It's all kind of an idea someone else is telling you, but you don't actually know it until you experience yourself. So having those back testing results, they're not the same as having 5-10 years of experience in the market, but it's the best you can get until you're able to develop that. It's the best thing you can look back on and say, okay, this is normal. I'm not falling off a cliff. This has happened before. It's the best way you can judge yourself until you've earned that experience in the market, where you can judge yourself off of your past performance. So yeah, I think you're tired of us talking about back testing, I know, but it's true.
It's just it's common sense, isn't it? I mean, it seems like common sense to us, but we do keep saying it. And the reason we keep saying it is because people keep breaking this rule. Or every time someone comes and says, well, I'm having some problems. Well, what's your testing results? Well, I didn't really test it. Well, come on, that's why, right?
I got one this morning like that.
Right. And what backtesting does is gives you rule-based trading. And with rules, you have 3 outcomes: make money, don't make money, break even. That's it. They're the 3 outcomes from a rule-based system. And that is what you want to be trading against, because you'll know what you need to do either to make it profitable or to, to ditch it, basically.
Yeah.
So once you've tested it and you trade it, you just don't touch it. Don't intervene. Don't be at the charts when you shouldn't be at the charts, and all that bad stuff, right? The next point someone made was, we got some great points, by the way, and one by Bobby was really, really powerful, and that's get your personal finances in order. I mean, that is such a good one. If you haven't got your personal finances in order and you are like living hand to mouth and you're trying to trade, man, how can you possibly learn a skill like trading when you are desperate for money? Akil, we see this all the time, right?
Yeah, and we've gone through this in our personal experiences as well, where it's like, you got your hierarchy of needs and stuff like that, and most of that is driven by money and whatnot to some extent. Like you said, everything is influenced for it. When you're desperate and you're in need of money, it could be a gift and a curse, because it triggers an urgency where you want to take action.
Yeah.
The problem is you don't always think clearly, especially when you're taking action in a field that involves you dealing with money, and it can drive you crazy. So you can easily become a gambler. I spoke to a trader this morning who was talking about, in the last 2 days, Jason, 2 days, he had an account that was like, I think he started at 50 pounds and then he went down to 30. Then he went back up to 60. Then he ended back at 48. And I'm thinking like, all right, well, 2 years, those are some big swings. Like, no, 2 days. Like, why would you ever trade that? Like,
that's
because
like
it was I need to get this money. I need to make it back. Oh, I lost some. I got to work it. It's crazy. And eventually you'll go broke. What I found in my trading career is that, when I started trading, I didn't have a lot of money or whatnot. So there was this urgency to make money quickly because, I had quit 3 jobs. I wasn't doing anything else. I kind of overbet on myself being a professional trader and overthought what I thought was available from it. But it was too late. I was in it, so I had to get good. But as my financial situation started getting better, I started reducing debt. I didn't really, I didn't have to worry about, a meal at the end of the day or anything like that. I found myself becoming much calmer and much more efficient and effective in the market, because now I didn't have to like win today. I didn't have to worry about, man, if I don't win a certain amount of trades this week, we're not going to eat. Now it was like, my life is settled. I'm cool. I'm not, millionaire status or anything like that, but I've got enough to, provide for the family and whatnot like that. Now, when I hit into the market or I go into the market, now it's just executing the plan. Like, I don't need to win today. I don't need to win tomorrow. I can just follow my rules. And I became a better trader because of that. Once I stopped worrying about money, essentially.
Yeah. I get so many people come to me, by the way, and they've seen some of my content or whatever, and they say, look, I know you warn against this, but, and I know what I should do, but I just want to know, I'm really interested in learning to trade because I really need to make some money. And I just say, look, stop. That very approach will stop you being able to learn to trade. You're not in a mental place where you can adopt that skill because you are desperate. And we all know that when you're desperate, you don't think clearly. So without going into the science, just understand, get a nice little cash cushion there. Focus on making money. You're going to need money. This is the best thing, right? And I saw one of those slimy snake oil salesmen with white teeth, gleaming white teeth and all that kind of stuff, selling a program. And they said, you want to make money trading Forex, don't worry about making money any other way other than Forex, right? Because it's easy and blah, 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 blah. And I think, well, you need money to trade. Like, you can't just start making money trading Forex. You need something to put in your account. So if you've got nothing to put in your account, start there. Start there. Go and get some money. And Akil spoke loads about this. Go and get another job. Go and do extra overtime. Go and build a side hustle or whatever. But just start with service. Start with getting some money in your account. Next.
Well, here's the thing though. Before you get the next thing, here's the thing, right? It's going to take you a year to learn anyway.
Exactly.
Most likely, right? So like, if you just dedicate, hey, next year, what is that? February 15th, 2024 is when I want to start trading. Now you've given yourself time. You have a whole year to handle your financial situation while you're learning. There's no pressure because you don't need to trade right away. Now you've given yourself time to get your financial situation sorted out. You've given yourself enough time to learn without rushing through the process, right? Yeah. And it's a year, and people complain, like, do you need the money in a year? Like, is it like, unless you plan on, and we never know where we're going to live or whatnot, but most of us have more than a year. Most of our goals are 5-10 years down the road. Sacrifice 1 year now for 20-30 years down the line. It's worth it.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. And that was one of the points, actually. Set the right time horizon. So
good segue.
Obviously we've just kind of answered that one. Process over outcome, focus again, that's kind of ties into what you just said. Just focus on learning and understanding it. You've only got yourself to prove this to. No one else cares if you're a profitable trader or not. So, they really don't.
No, it's true.
Every time you cheat or break a rule, who cares? Only you. You're only going to be sitting there crying in the shower. It's no one else cares, right? We care at Tier 1, but it's only you. So just prove it to yourself. Prove it to yourself. It's going to take longer than you think. Go ahead, Akil.
Real quick, sorry, we're having a ball today. It's funny because I know you get this, right? You ever get those DMs of people just like showing you their trading track record from whatever like that, and they're like, I love when I get that. It's like, hey, what do you think? And I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, what do you think? Yeah.
If you ask me a question about like a trading idea or something like that, then I can give you my opinion. Like, what do you think about this breakout situation? Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Like, you give me a screenshot of your trades. Like, hey, what do you think about this? Like, I don't care. Like, why would I care about what's happening in your account? Like, good job. Like, is that what you want? Like, no one cares but you. Like, it doesn't affect me.
Honestly. Oh man. And even when you're a successful trader and you're part of Tier 1 and you come back to us and say, listen, I'm consistently profitable, awesome, right? But you've got to maintain that, and it's only on you. And as much as we love that you've been able to maintain consistent profits, we don't care what you do from there because we're worried about us. Like, we're worried about our own lives. Everyone's got their own thing going on. It's just you. So this is all for you. So don't cheat yourself. Next one. It's going to take longer than you think. Having a passion for for trading without being passionate. So actually wanting to trade, enjoying trading, enjoying the fascination of the markets without being an emotional kind of passionate, good or bad type, revenge type person. That's definitely key. Just having a love for the markets. That's going to allow you to manage your emotions because you see it. You enjoy it, you're ambitious in trading rather than doing something that you just feel you should because everyone on social media is doing it. And that's going to have an effect on your emotion, because you'll start to resent it. And then you'll start to speed up the process, and then you'll start to break rules, and then you'll jump system to system to system and trying to find Pip Daddy and all the horrid forums out there. Scale up slowly. That's a good one.
Ooh,
that's a good
one.
That
is,
this is the caliber of our traders in our live room, by the way. All these answers are from them. It's just speaks in volumes, right?
One of the best bits of advice I was given, I can't remember who it's from. It might have been Jason, might have been Todd Brown, might have been someone else on the internet, but it was trade so small that a win has zero effect on your life and a loss has zero effect on your life. And we were talking about the guy earlier who swung from 50 pounds to 30 pounds in like 2 days. Like, those are life-changing numbers. Like, those are like, you lose 20 pounds in a day. Like, that can have a significant effect in your life. If you trade so small where it's like, I lose this trade and you're like, oh my gosh, this affected my life. And you're like, well, did it really? I got a helicopter circling around and we're giving out too many secrets. But if you're trading so small that a win doesn't really allow you to do anything special with your life, and a loss, on any single win or any loss doesn't allow you to do anything, then there's no emotional attachment to it. Right? Yeah. There's a small little, maybe prick, like, oh, I lost, $100 or whatever it is. Like, but big deal. Where you get the big emotional swings is where you take those massive losses when you're risking 10% of your account on a trade, and all of a sudden you're down, you're down 20, 30, 40% of your account. And now you're like, oh my gosh, how am I going to pay the bills? Well, how am I going to dig myself out of these holes? Those are the things that make you panic. But especially if you start smaller than you think, get yourself used to realizing like, oh, it's a win. It's a loss. Like, it doesn't really make a difference. Yeah. Then you'll slowly be able to handle it a little bit more as you increase your position size. Yeah. Right. So I think that's a really good tactic for kind of like dipping a toe in the emotional water of like, hey, let me get my big toe used to it. And then let me slide in half foot and then put a full foot in before, fully jumping into it. That's great advice. You got some smart people, man.
Got some really good. There's a ton of others, and maybe we'll go over these another time, but there's some phenomenal answers here. And,
some good ones on YouTube too. Yeah.
Yeah. We got the great gang here, Chris and Lewis and Bobby, Cade, they always rock up here, and it's this great community that we're building here. But I would say we've touched on that one before as well. It's been proven that we can take, as humans, no more than a 10% oscillation in ecstasy or loss. So you want to make sure that you're within that, well within that. That's why we always say 1% per trade, is really the maximum you want to be thinking about, because if you lose 1%, well, who cares? If you gain 1%, it's enough to not be cocky. So that's a good place to start. And we're not saying you can't increase your profits later on, but that's once you've got that clock in, clock out habit of, like what we said at the beginning, years under your belt of just, this is what happens year on year. You've got belief transference of every season, every situation, every scenario under your belt multiple times. So you've got a confidence that just cannot be bashed away easily. So we covered a lot there, Akil. Good session. Really important. We could talk for a week on emotions in trading. There's tons of strategies that we can use to help. And if you guys want to see us talk more about that, maybe we'll put on a special day in an event early this year at Tier 1. Or maybe we'll do a special Q&A. We've passed 1,000 and we said we'd do a special Q&A. So maybe next week we just tune in for a Q&A and we invite your questions in, and we'll just answer through the questions. That probably sounds like a good session.
That would work. Yeah.
Awesome. So, guys, thanks for tuning in. If you can think of any other ways that you use to manage your emotions, please put it in the comments. We're always out to help. Everyone who's in this community, we want to help. We want to share the love. And if you think we've missed anything, or you've successfully implemented a strategy to manage your emotions, please let us know. And remember, when it comes to emotions, less is more. Do less. Think about what you're doing, and don't lose money out there.
Real quick before we leave, a cool story. So I found this morning, Jason. this was my original notebook when I first started learning how to trade.
Oh,
You'd see
cool.
it's old and ripped up and stuff like that. Man, I took a look in this thing and just saw like some of, you can't see it on the screen, but like saw some old notes that I was taking when I first learned. It's amazing to kind of go back through that stuff and see like just how differently your approach is and how cool, like how different it is in 15 years ago. So I thought that was cool. It's like, this is, I was thinking about throwing it away. Like, this is a gem. Like, this is how it all started. And it just, it kind of humbles you in showing that, man, you started at this very, very minimal lower level of like, it was half the stuff in there is like bad information from some YouTube video, and that you were able to progress. And it's just, it was an awesome kind of moment just to kind of bring me back to those days. So I just want to share that, man. Everyone grows.
Man. Yeah, it's really,
started
really
off the same as you guys listening. Don't ever forget that.
Yeah.
Just takes time and effort.
It does. Awesome, man. Thanks for sharing that. And with that said, that's it for another coffee rant. We'll be back next week with a special Q&A. So if you're not following us on our separate channels, it's Jason Graystone and Akil Stokes. Give this a like and a sub, and share the love with any other traders in your community. And until next week, take care. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you then.
Thanks for joining us for the Trader Coffee Break. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to never miss a live discussion. Follow our hosts on social media. And remember, do nothing to gain perspective on everything. See you next week.